Hello, everyone. Hopefully everyone can hear me. It's 12 o'clock Eastern time. So I see some people are still trickling in, but I think for the purposes of time, we'll start as others enter the room. So good afternoon, everyone. My name is Julia Melnikova, and I'm the manager of online technical department. With me, and I'll be one of your hosts today. With me are also my colleagues, Geet Amin, who's a senior technical consultant. Geet, if you want to say hi quickly.
Hello, everyone. Good afternoon.
So Geet will be one of my co-hosts today. As well, there is Iris Rosenbluth and Shimona Bab, who will be moderating the chat today. So right now, I think there's some messages already.
I think
Julia, you're on mute. Sorry.
Okay, thanks. Okay, sorry, where did you lose me? Can you just tell me what was the last thing?
You were talking about messages in the chat area, and then we lost you.
Oh, okay. I'm so sorry. There must be some technical glitch because I don't think I clicked anything. So in case, if this happens again, please let me know. So I didn't get too far, just covering some housekeeping items. So please note that this session is being recorded and will be shared with you after the event. Everyone in the session will be on mute and off camera. As I mentioned, the live chat is open now. And you can leave questions throughout the presentation if something sparks, a question, and Iris and Shimona will address them on the spot. As well, we will have a Q&A at the end of the session, so you'll have opportunity to ask your questions there as well. In terms of today's agenda, Geet and I will do a quick 10-minute presentation with an overview of our college, our programs, curriculum, our student experience. And we'll spend the rest of the session hopefully addressing your questions. So Geet, if you don't mind, just going maybe on the next slide. Perfect. So just a little bit about George Brown College. We are public, fully accredited College of Applied Arts and Technology located in downtown Toronto in Canada, and a leading experiential learning provider. What sets us apart is a robust online delivery method designed to meet the evolving needs of our students and the industry. We offer flexible options such as self-directed on-demand learning, open enrollment, virtual labs that use cutting-edge simulation software, which, as I mentioned, my colleague Geet will cover in detail throughout the presentation. We understand that every business also has unique needs. That's why we also collaborate very closely with employers to identify their requirements. So I'm sure some of you on this call would be students. There might be some companies, so we definitely do work with companies. And companies can choose to enroll employees in full programs or select some of the courses that align with their current and future workforce training needs. Employees can check with their employers also to see if they cover training as part of companies' workforce programs. Geet, if you don't mind just going to the next slide. Perfect. So now allow me to just quickly walk you through our distance learning legacy. A fun fact, we actually celebrated 25th anniversary of our first pioneering electronics technician program in 2022, and that program was launched in 1998. So we have a really rich legacy of delivering distance education courses. So from CD-ROMs to web-based curriculum, over the years, we proudly held the torch as leaders in distance learning technical training. And we, since then, developed a range of programs that you can see here on screen in response to ever-evolving industry needs. So our highly rated programs can be centered around two pillars. The first one would be advanced industrial manufacturing technology that cover electronics technician program, electromechanical, PLCs, robotics, and automation programs. And our newest pillar is clean tech with electrical vehicle technician program we launched in 2022. And we'll be adding our newest program, wind turbine technician, this spring, actually very soon. So please stay tuned for further announcements. It's very exciting. And we're planning to launch one more program in 2025 called Solar PV Technician. Geet, if you can just go to the next slide, please. Thank you. Now, let's maybe go a little bit more into detail of some of the unique features of our programs. And I'm sure maybe some of your questions will be answered on that slide. And if not, again, feel free to drop some of the questions in the chat right now, or we can answer them at the end of the presentation. So all our programs are delivered online. They are on demand with an open enrollment and have flexible payment options. So students can choose to purchase a course or full program. Our programs seamlessly integrate theory with practice through proprietary simulation software, and Git will show you some examples and demonstration of what that looks like. This real-world or 3D world practice environments allow students to solve problems in a risk-free space, and also for employers to train employees in a virtual environment, minimizing liabilities. Continuous access to learning materials for ongoing practice is fundamental. So that's why by purchasing our program, students will receive but also keep a licensed copy of the simulation software, granting them unlimited access to all program materials even after graduation. So it's a huge value add for purchasing our programs. There are also minimum to know barriers for entry. So for example, there's no academic prerequisites to enter in any of our programs, and there's minimal hardware requirements. Our programs operate on any Windows operating system, making them accessible to a really large audience. Ensuring the quality and integrity of our programs is our top priority as an accredited institution. That's why we offer accredited testing, seamlessly integrated into our web-based program materials. Since our college is fully accredited, upon successful completion of the courses, students will receive CEUs, which stand for Continuing Education Units. It takes about 28 to 38 weeks of part-time study to complete our programs. And upon completion, official documents will be issued, such as certificates, grade reports, and any necessary receipts or invoices will be issued from George Brown College. Now, let's get into the heart of our programs and review some of the examples I mentioned that Git will walk you through, such as simulation software and other curriculum examples. So Git, off to you.
Thank you, Julia. Good afternoon again, everyone. Thank you for joining us today for the open house. I will walk you all through some of the unique features of our programs. And as you can see on the screen, we are looking at some of the manufacturing environments covered in the simulation software part of our programs. One of the standout features of our programs is the extensive collection of, I would say, more than 250 pre-built lab projects. And these lab projects are an integral part of your learning experience, as they'll really help you gain the practical experience required for all these technical training programs. As we know, if you have to work in a manufacturing industry, you really have to be hands-on because learning theory is great, but at the same time, you have to learn the practical side of it. And this manufacturing environments part of the simulation software will help you gain all that knowledge. As you can see on the screen, we call them 3D worlds, but they're nothing but manufacturing environments. They're literally three-dimensional manufacturing environments where you'll be able to control them using the simulation software. In terms of PLC, you'll be using ladder logic programs to control this 3D worlds. Let's take a look at one of this. Let me just go to the next slide here. Oh, there we are. Okay, perfect. So we have prepared a short video demonstration here to show you some of this manufacturing environments in action. Now, in the background of this manufacturing environments, there is a ladder logic program controlling all this 3D worlds. The first scenario we looked at was the batch mixer used in the chemical and pharmaceutical industries. The next, we are looking at the bottle line plant. Again, as we know, bottle line is very popular in the pharmaceutical and beverage industries. Depending on, as we can see here, depending on the size of the bottle, different color liquid is getting filled, it's getting capped. So all of this is controlled by the ladder logic program in the background, which I'll show you on the next slide. Here we're looking at the car wash. This is also controlled by the PLC and the ladder logic program. So a lot of the simulation worlds, they're controlled by the PLC. Some of them we are not even aware of how they are controlled, and that's what you will learn in our technical program. I'll fast forward the video a little bit here. Oh, sorry, I missed there. Just to quickly show you some more of this 3D worlds. As we can see, the silo is also very commonly used in the agriculture, food and produce industries. And next is the traffic light simulation software is also controlled by the PLC ladder logic program in the background. So there are various simulation software 3D worlds that are covered in the program, which you will learn throughout the course. Let's go to the next one. Here we can take a look at a practical programming example. On the right-hand side, you can see the ladder logic program, which is controlling the batch mixer simulation world. In this example, as you can, I'm not sure if you can see it clearly. We try to fit as much as we can on one screen, but here in this example, students are required to follow the question over there. It's a challenging demonstration where you have to modify the program such that this ladder program, so that the 20 units of solution A is added to the tank, 10 units of solution B is added to the tank as well, and then the solution is heated, and then you drain the tank, and then after 2-second delay, the same process repeats. So all this, there are more than, I would say, 250 pre-built lab projects, and this is just one example where you will be required to perform certain tasks. As you can see here on the screen, students are given challenging examples. So it's not just reading the content, it's not just learning the theory, but at the same time, you will be coming across different challenging examples where you have to modify the ladder program, troubleshoot the ladder program to learn the best out of it. Okay, next we have another short demonstration here showing you electric vehicle technician program. There are 14 modules covered in this EV technician program that we have. They're very detailed. There are, I would say, 3 groups of people who would benefit from taking our EV program. First and foremost are the automotive technicians who are interested in learning power electronics side of EV cars. As well as the electricians who are interested in learning the installation, repair, and maintenance of the commercial level EV charging stations. And obviously the third group would be the technicians who are interested in working in the EV manufacturing industry at different levels, such as design, engineering, and safety. As you can see, the EV technician program covers in-depth theory and practical examples on topics like regenerative braking system, the high voltage interlocking loop. This we're looking at on the screen is the 3-phase AC motors. It covers various topics on safety, maintenance, and repair of EV, as well as the charging stations. The circuit logic simulation software that we're looking at on the screen, it has, I would say, more than 10,000 devices and components included in the tool. It also has numerous high voltage EV components that can be easily picked from the device library and to design and troubleshoot the circuit used in electric vehicle. We cover a lot of examples for different brands like Tesla. So it's not a brand specific, but it's very generalized program where you will learn about EV cars. And as manufacturing, as manufacturing companies, they sponsor their employees to take technical training programs because they want their employees to have the most up-to-date knowledge in the EV industry. We get a lot of students from different companies. They take our programs who are paid by their employer. And at the end, they have to take an exam at the end of each module to really demonstrate the skills they have gained from the program. So we just looked at the Student Resource Center. Here we are seeing different modules exam, and this is just a quick example of what our online examination system looks like, where students will be taking an exam at the end of each module. Okay. Next, we will take a look at the Student Resource Center and some of the other supporting options available to the students while they are taking the program. Our programs being offered completely online, like Julia mentioned earlier, they are very flexible and very self-paced, but that doesn't mean students will be left alone to figure out things on their own. We offer a very robust resource center to help our students succeed in the program. And our support staff are very knowledgeable, and they are available to answer questions 7 days a week. We are open extended hours, Monday to Friday from 9 a.m. until 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, as well as we're open on weekends from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. Because our programs are very self-paced and flexible, a lot of our students are working full time, so they are working during the day, but they study in the evening and on weekends. And because of this, we have the extended hours for our student support center. So they are always able to contact us when they are stuck on any question. There are variety of ways they can contact us. One is we have a dedicated phone support toll-free line for North America. We also have the student forum we just looked at earlier, as well as they can email us if they have any questions. The student forum that we have, we've been running that for many, many years. So there are so many questions that are already posted and answered by our forum advisor, which students can always take a look at to get a clear understanding of any question they're stuck on. But other than that, they're more than welcome to contact us by phone and for any tutorial or technical related questions. I hope I provided you clear understanding of the structure of our programs and how the lab projects and simulation software and everything plays an important role in preparing you for a successful career in manufacturing. Thank you, everyone, for joining us today. I will pass it back to Julia. And she will take it from here, and I'll be here if you have any questions later on. Thank you.
Thank you, Geet. So at this point, I want to invite back all my colleagues, including Geet and Iris Shimona, who were already active on the chat. And this is the part of the panel where we welcome questions from you. And Iris, maybe before we open it to everyone, I wanted to see if there were any pre-submitted questions in the chat already that were not answered.
Yeah, Julia, there's one, and Katie, I apologize, I didn't answer it. I wasn't quite sure how to, so I'm going to throw it over to Geet. Katie's asking, as part of the EV technician program, does it also cover the software part? And Geet, maybe you understand exactly what Katie's referring to.
For sure, I can answer that. Thank you, Iris. So hi, Katie. We do cover a little bit on the software side, but the main focus of our program is the repair maintenance of EV charging stations. So it's mainly for the commercial level charging stations. As we know, with the increased number of EV cars on the road and the push from the government to migrate everything from irregular gasoline cars to EV cars, there is going to be a huge demand for the infrastructure to support those EV cars. And what I mean by infrastructure are the charging stations, right? So there is a huge demand for technicians who are able to install, repair, and maintain those charging stations, because there is always wear and tear on those charging stations, since most of them are outside in the harsh weather conditions. So there is always a technician required to do the maintenance and repair on it, and that's what our major focus is on our EV technician program. We definitely cover some of those software side. You can say like ODBC and some of those software where you can calculate the time required to charge, and depending on that, you will know if there is some kind of maintenance required on the charging station or not. So we do cover some software side, but major focus is on the repair and maintenance of it.
Julia, we had another question about program costs. I'm sorry, I don't know who it's from. It was, I think they're looking for I'm not sure which program they're looking for, program costs. So can you just give an overview of what the program costs are? And I'll put all that information in the chat as well.
Sure. The program costs range depending on the program, so it'd be helpful to know which program you're interested in. And as I mentioned, there's a couple of payment options. You can purchase the full program, or you can purchase the Software Plus, kind of the first course, we call them modules, and then buy additional courses as you go. So it's incredibly flexible, and from sort of the industry comparison, our programs are quite affordable. And if you're from Ontario, Canada, you know, we won't be raising any domestic tuition fees in it anytime soon. So it's quite competitive price points. And once we know which program we're interested in, we can give you exact price points as well. And maybe actually as a recap, we can send it to everybody as part of the email that you'll receive from us. I hope that answers your question, unless there's a follow-up to that.
Yeah, Julia, and it was the EV program that they were looking for the cost for. So the EV program is sorry, it's off the top of my head, it's $1,750 for the full program. And as Julia mentioned, you can register for the pay-as-you-learn option, and that starts you at $580. That gives you the lab simulation software for the entire program and access to your first module exam. I have another question from someone else about the EV program, Geet. Does the EV technician program cover the entire vehicle as well as diagnostics, including safe handling and storage of batteries?
Yeah, absolutely. Yes, it definitely covers the entire vehicle. There are many modules highlighting the safety and battery. If you look at the curriculum, the program outline of our EV technician course, you will see there is a high focus on safety, maintenance, and repair. You will be, I'm not sure if you were already part of the presentation earlier, but we were looking at the short demonstration video of our EV program, where one of the circuit was showing you the high voltage interlocking loop system, which is used in all the electric vehicles. You know, as you may be aware, like anything in orange color is the way for them to identify it's the high voltage component or high voltage wiring. So all of that is covered in our program. You will be able, there are so many high voltage devices and components we have designed in our circuit logic simulation tool, which you'll be able to pick up from the device library, connect, place it on a breadboard kind of simulation tool, and connect different wires to it and run simulation so that you learn how to handle this high voltage in a safe manner before you start working on the vehicles.
We have another question from Habib. It's sorry. What are the trainings and the relevant certifications accepted and applicable in the US, or are they regional specific?
I can jump in, Iris, but you can also fill in the gaps because you oversee our US partnerships as well. So, I mean, the general answer, as I mentioned in the presentation, you will get the CU credits and you will get a certificate upon completion of the program. You would have to sort of research the partner institution and perhaps even contact them to see if they will be accepted. But Iris, I think you can correct me if I'm wrong, but our students have been successful in the past with transfer to different institutions. But I just want to caution where, of course, you would have to do your research because every institution is different.
Correct. But in terms of once you complete the program, you do get a certificate. And what we found is that about 40% of our student base are based in the US, and they're not only are people registering as individuals on their own, but their employees are registering their students to take the program.
Right. Yeah, and just to add to that, Iris, because again, I already mentioned that we're fully accredited on Ontario College in Canada, but Canadian certificates are widely recognized in the world. So that's why we don't only have students from US. For example, as Iris mentioned, a large proportion of our international students come from across the US, but also international. So, but again, I just want to put a little disclaimer that of course you have to do a little bit of research to make sure if you're going just a specific, career or academic path, it will help to do some of that research in advance.
Right, and we did have a question, just to clarify, these aren't certifications. Certifications are industry driven. These are certificates of completion by George Brown College. And as Julia mentioned, we're fully accredited community college. So I will post a link that has a detailed description of what the difference is between a certificate, a certification, a diploma, and a degree. But I'll post that right away. Shimona, are you seeing any questions that I have missed?
Nothing so far. There's one that a student was asking if it covers the software in EV for simulation. Git, maybe you want to expand a little bit on the simulation tools?
I think I answered that, didn't I?
Yeah, I think we may have covered that question. Anything, Iris? Anything else, Iris or Shimona?
Somebody asked about hands-on training with regard to EV. Geet, you just want to?
Yep, I can address that.
Yeah.
So the hands-on training that you'll be getting through the program is using the simulation software. So like I mentioned earlier, all the the components and circuits used in electric vehicle as well as the EV charging stations, we have designed those components and circuits on our simulation tool. So you will be able to run the simulation of all those circuits. You will learn how to design those circuits. You will learn how to connect different how these circuits in an electric vehicle are connected to each other. All that practical experience is something that you will learn using the simulation software. So it will be very much like you'll be performing testing and troubleshooting on an electric vehicle, but instead it will be on a simulation software so that you don't have to worry about, because these are all the high voltage components that you will be dealing with. So you will not have to worry about getting electrocuted or anything, but you will absolutely be able to learn all the practical hands-on side of it.
And another question, Julia, again, do any of the programs have an opportunity to be expanded into a 2-year degree, or I guess articulate, is there articulation opportunities?
Yes, we actually have a program whereby if you successfully complete and receive certificate for one of our programs, which is electronics technician, you can then take additional courses from George Brown College and receive a equivalent of a 2-year diploma. So you will receive a diploma, but it is only for electronics technician. And we have some articulation programs in US as well. But in order to get that program, which will be at the bachelor's level, you'll have to go through the steps, get a certificate, diploma, and then pursue the bachelor's. And those are offered through Indiana State University and also the Athabasca University.
And I have posted a link in the chat, which takes you directly to the transfer, the specific articulation agreements that we have with our programs. But keep in mind, these programs do have continuing education units, and you can, if you're interested in moving on with your education, you can speak to that institution that you do want to continue with and show them your transcripts and talk to them about opportunities to use the credits, the CEUs from our programs into their courses.
I do see a question from Iman. He's asking, to explain again about how the traffic light works and under which program it is covered. So I can address that. So that traffic light simulation we were looking at earlier during the demonstration, it's covered in our PLC Technician 1 and PLC Technician 2 programs. And it's basically what you will learn in there is, so there will be multiple parts of that project, and I would say with a lot of our practical programming examples, there will be multiple parts of it. So as you will go through the program, as you will go through different modules, let's say in the beginning you'll learn about timers in module 8. So any project that you'll be working on in module 8 will be dealing mostly with the timer circuits, but then module 9 would be covering counters and then sequencers and then so on. So the same project may appear again, but this time it will teach you how you can use sequencers in it or how you can use counters in it. So with regards to traffic lights, you'll be able to control the timing of the lights, like the red, green, and yellow, using the ladder logic program in the background, as well as you will same applies to other practical programming examples like bottle line or batch mixer. You will be able to control them using the ladder program in the background.
Hi, Shimon, are there any follow-up questions?
There is.
I see the chat is quite busy.
Yeah, it's quite busy, sorry. Does the PLC program teach analog I/O, or is it mostly just discrete?
Absolutely, we do cover analog I/O as well. In fact, on top of this 3D worlds we looked at, the first 3D world that you will learn in the PLC program is the analog I/O. So I/O is always there. So, you know, let's say if you want to control the ladder program using I/O and not demonstrate on one of this manufacturing environment, you're more than welcome to do that as well.
I don't see, Shimoni, I'm just going to ask you if you see anything else.
There's one asking if there's job opportunity by George Brown, which if to be introduced by any job opening.
Yeah, I did post something, and essentially we have students that come from all over, literally the world. So it wouldn't be, we can't help people find specific job opportunities, but what we do know is that our training gives you, a brand new skill set. And we also do have a Facebook group for anybody that is registered in our program or alumni. And we do post opportunities in our Facebook group, but we don't provide specific co-op opportunities or anything of that nature. Geet or Julia, we've got a question from Farid asking about having just completed the certificate without industry experience. Will employers just hire with a certificate?
I think I'll just jump in, Geet, and you can follow up on that. I think it really depends. There's certainly a number of entry-level positions out there, and there's shortages of skilled labor in some sectors and industries. So certificate certainly helps to enter the doors, and a lot of companies do provide, let's say, internal training, additional training specific to the job. So they may consider a certificate if there are certain shortages of labor and provide that hands-on training. But it depends, of course, that this will be, I would say, for more entry level or, introducing to the industry. And then there's companies, of course, who will be looking for more significant work experience. So I think it really depends on the employer, but certainly having a certificate from recognized institutions does help open many doors, and companies do provide internal training oftentimes as well. Geet, I don't know if you have anything to add to that.
No, I think you pretty much covered it. Correct. Thank you.
We have another question. I'm interested in your EV program, but from Ghana. Can I take the program?
Oh, sorry. A prospect student from Ghana is interested in taking, right? If I'm understanding the question correctly.
Correct.
Sorry, did you want to jump in?
Sure, I can answer that. Absolutely. You're more than welcome to take the EV program from anywhere. It's very flexible. There is no requirement for you to be in Canada to take the program. In fact, we have a lot of partnerships around the world where different colleges and universities are partnered with us to offer these programs locally on their end. So we do have many students from Ghana, in fact, taking some of our other programs. So if you're interested in taking EV from Ghana, it would absolutely work out.
We have another question. Julia, is there a start and end date to the programs?
That's a great question. As I mentioned, on average, it takes about 28 to 32 weeks to complete our programs. And we have open enrollment, so students can register anytime, essentially. And because this is a self-paced, self-directed program, so it's not instructor-led. When you join, when you get the software, there's no a live instructor, getting you through materials. It's really up to the student, and that's why it's targeting mature students to work through the materials. So we've seen some students complete the program in less time than 28 to 32 weeks, as we said, if they want to focus on it more full time. And we've seen students complete the program within a couple of years or few years, actually. So it really depends. The program is designed on purpose to be very flexible, to accommodate adult learners' schedules. So it might be around your work, it might be around your family and work, or other priorities you're juggling. So really, it's up to student to define that experience. However, as Git mentioned, we do have that support available as well to you. So if you need help getting through some of the course materials or having some issues with the software, you can reach out to our staff Monday to Sunday, Eastern time, and we can share those hours with you as well for any help. So it's kind of dual. It's like student centric. So it's up to you how you want to progress through the program, but just knowing that there will be support available to you throughout the program.
And
I
we
hope I
answered,
answered. Yeah.
Yeah, we have another question about the PLC and automation and the simulation software, the supplier hardware. It's Honeywell, Siemens, Allen Bradley. We did answer that it emulates Allen Bradley, but Guy, can you be a bit more specific in terms of describing the PLC versus PLC Technician 2 program?
Sure, I can add to that. So the main difference between our PLC Technician 1 and 2, like Iris mentioned in the chat there, it's the focus of what series of PLC. So for example, PLC Technician 1 is focused on RS Logix 500 compared to PLC Technician 2 is more on the advanced PLC, the latest version of PLC from Allen Bradley. It's the RS Logix 5000, the Studio 5000 simulation software to be specific. So the difference between the two, you can say, is the style of programming. The ladder logic programming with PLC 1, it would be more like IO based, compared to PLC 2 is the tech based programming. As we all know, tech based is more powerful and it gives you more flexibility in controlling a lot of things on the ladder program. So it's more advanced. But they both will teach you the Allen Bradley, and which is one of the very popular brand of PLCs and automation in North America. One good thing about our programs is a lot of them have overlapping modules. So and this is what majority of our students end up doing, is if they register into PLC 1, they'll end up taking PLC 2 as well, because they will only have to do 13 out of 19 modules. On PLC 2, 7 modules are overlapping, so you get credit for those 7 modules. Now, when you get credit, you don't have to pay for it as well. So you get the second program that you take, it'll be at a much lower cost, and you'll be able to finish it much faster. But at the same time, you'll be able to add it to your resume that you have the certification on PLC 1 as well as PLC 2. And same in a way, same applies to other programs as well. A lot of our programs go hand in hand. For example, automation program, it covers modules from electromechanical, PLC 2, and robotics. So, and then people, after graduating from automation, they can decide if they want to specialize into one of those 3 programs, or they want to continue with the automation.
Geet, another question about DCS training.
We do cover that in our PLC2 program. We cover SCADA, DCS, and all of that in our PLC2 program. You'll be learning. We have a lot of examples covering that as well. So you will definitely be learning in our PLC Technician 2 program.
Julia, we have a question. We have somebody who's an employer on board here, and he's asking about financial packages for enrolling groups.
I think maybe we can take that offline. If you don't mind, maybe we'll have, if you can leave your contact information, or if you want to reach out to us directly. We do work with companies on individual basis. We just need to understand your use case, how many employees you're onboarding, cohort, but and we can speak to some of the previous examples of other companies as well. So if you don't mind, maybe we'll take that offline, and really happy to set up a call with you and maybe a demo to go through the programs you're interested in. Is that do we have any more questions? I'm just also mindful of the time.
Yes.
Really appreciate everyone staying.
Yeah, somebody's asking about financial aid.
As a student?
Yes, as a student.
Okay, so there is a number of programs that might be available to cover some of the some programs we offer. Those could be more specific to, like, let's say if there's something government supporting for EV or other programs. But it was something that you have to kind of research on your own, Iris. I don't recall any specific programs we have right now that we can name. Unless
yeah, I do. It's Better Jobs, but it's specific to Ontario. So I don't know where you're based. What I do suggest is, sorry to jump in, Julia, is that as an adult learner, there are a lot of opportunities for financial aid, but most of them are things that you would have to pursue on your own. And bring to us, or if you're employed, your employer might have access to state or provincial aid as well. But the only one I can think of offhand is Better Jobs Ontario.
Mm-hmm. And we're not eligible, just again, just say for OSAP.
Pell Grants,
VA benefits. So, yeah, it's something that you can keep an eye on. Oftentimes, in different provinces or Ontario specifically, government may open like a window for very specific upskilling programs. So it could be in clean tech for EV, for example, or it could be industrial automation or something. So sometimes we do see these grants, but they tend to be more like short term. They'll give like a 4-6 month window, maybe a year, but those do pop out periodically. And if it is an official grant that's being offered through the province or federal, then we do sign off on these letters, and our students have been successful in the past getting these grants. And so just to mention another option, because you can pay for the full program, or you can pay per course. The pay-as-you-go option is very affordable as well. And because there's no time limit for you to finish the program, you can really then sort of structure it around your timelines and sort of like kind of financing. So in that sense, our programs have been very affordable for students who can take some time to finish them without, let's say, external funding options, if that helps. Iris, Shimon, anything else on your end? I'm just mindful of the time as well.
Yeah, I'm trying to, I'm just trying to get to your questions, and sorry for that. I'm not seeing anything, but I am looking for the Better Jobs link, and I will post that.
There was someone asking if they needed a student permit, so knowing it's online, that's
So we accept international students in our program. Because our programs are online and it's a distant learning, the student does not require to be in Ontario, Canada to take our programs. Our students take our programs from all over the world. So our programs do not qualify students for the permits as well, because again, they're distance learning. But again, we welcome international students, and we have many international students, but the delivery method of our programs is online. So you could be home-based or in another part of the world and take these programs. But again, just want to highlight that our programs also do not qualify you necessarily for student visas for entering Canada. Anything else, Shimona or Iris?
I think we've all caught up.
Yeah,
I
I think
think
there's a
we
message
are
from
on it.
Julio, Iris. It's part of a bigger conversation. He's asking how he can send us the contact information privately, not posted on the public. So maybe.
Yeah, so you can so
maybe we can add the toll-free number as well as.
Actually, Git, if you don't mind going on the next slide, sorry, that information will be provided there.
Right. That's a good point. Thank you.
Yes. So just generally for everyone as well, we don't have to necessarily wrap up the Q&A session, but obviously we won't be able to address all the questions here, and it's great if you have more questions and you want to talk to us. So we have program consultants available via phone and email. So we encourage you to call the toll-free number that you see here on screen, and the email will send you these slides as well, so you'll have that in your email. So the person who wanted to reach out to us kind of offline to talk about some of the corporate programs that we have, you can email the info@gbctechtraining.com, and maybe in the subject line just put open house question regarding, like, in a shorter version about corporate training, and we'll flag that to our consultants. So they'll definitely keep an eye on it, but they address every single inquiry that comes in. So again, for everyone, you're welcome to book those consultations. These are one-on-one consultations, and they can spend some time with you going through more details and addressing more of your individual concerns. And for others, if there are company representatives on this call, we do have corporate training programs, and we can also do demos for you and your staff, just to give you a little bit more detail on our program, and we can talk about your specific use cases. So I was just going to check in again, because I'm looking at the time. Just want to be mindful, that everybody, to respect everybody's time as well. Do we have any more pressing questions?
I don't think we have any other questions, and but I did want to let everybody know, just remind everybody again, I did post it. We will be sending you in the next day or two a copy of this open house, so you can review it. And I do encourage everybody with needing some more detailed help to contact us and speak to our program consultants.
That's great. So on this note, we'll end our open house. We thank everyone so much for joining and actually spending more time with us on this Q&A session. And we hope we can talk to you soon again, and looking forward to seeing you as our students as well, if that's what you decide to pursue. So thank you again, and have a great day.
Thank you, everyone. Hope you have a good day.